Get ready for the most vicious pay-per-view in NWA history as we present Samhain, Saturday, October 28th at Temple Live in Cleveland, Ohio. Witness World Champion and Cleveland's own EC3 versus Latimer. World Women's Champion Kenzie Page versus Ruby J. World Tag Team Champions Blunt Force Trauma with Aaron Stevens versus Knox and Murdoch. And many more as they compete in the showcase of brutality. Visit NWATix.com for tickets today. That's NWATix.com or order live on pay-per-view via Fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hour of Power podcast. I am your co-host, Knighten Thompson, and I am joined here tonight with the other co-host, Trey Davis. Trey, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm interested in getting in on this latest episode of Powerr because it was a good one.
All right, so we're going to start off with right where it began. The show starts off with an amazing promo package from EC3. EC3 announces that the match between him and Tom Latimer will be a no-limits match for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
You have Camille right there in the corner of Tom. So this is, this could end badly for EC3.
Yeah, I think he might be walking into something that he's not going to be able to walk out of. But, EC3 talked about when Tom is in a dark place, he is at his best. Now, have we really seen it as of lately?
Yeah. Well,
and
that's what I'm trying to get out of it. That's the story I feel like that they're trying to tell, really, is that, he's trying to get his, Tom's very best out of him. And without the help of Camille, he's trying to say, look, this is a guy that should be the face of any wrestling company that he's with. And, Camille is holding him back, basically.
Mm-hmm. And they, EC3 brought up the history, how NWA 74, he could have taken Tom out with that steel chair, but decided against it. And then 2 weeks ago at Exodus Pro, the full circle came back. Tom used a steel chair to take out EC3, took the wind out of EC3, and made an exclamation, made a point to EC3. I am here, and I'm not messing around.
Yeah, and I like the analogy with the chair, talking about it being like a sword. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that. I thought that was clever. Everything, his promos have been fire, basically, especially since he won the NWA championship. They seem to be even better. Yes,
EC3 has been a top tier over the last couple of months, and it's showing 100%. And I think this is the best EC3 we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, probably since Impact, really.
Mm-hmm. But let's move on to match number 1. Mecha Wolf with Vampiro versus Yabo the Clown with Violent J. And I'm going to be honest with you. This match, I hate clowns to begin with. So I don't have a fear of them. I just think they're dumb. And I mean, Mecha Wolf came out of the gate firing on all cylinders, landing some missiles into Yabo. I was like, jeez.
And you normally see these guys in tag competition, but it was nice to see them in singles competition this week, kind of highlighting their, I would almost say their originals. I know, everybody's came from somewhere else at some point, but this is kind of like this is NWA's talent. And the spot where he shoots the water from his flower to his opponent, I thought that was such a clever little spot, especially with the gimmick being that he's a clown. And it just kind of reminded me of something I had read a while back about Macaulay Culkin, the Home Alone actor.
Mm-hmm.
He was a professional wrestler, very
sake.
briefly, and he pulled all these tricks out, like in his Home Alone movies, against his opponent. And I thought that was clever as hell. Yeah, some people are probably like rolling their eyes, like, "What the fuck, dude?"
That was 100% me.
Yeah.
Like, I saw that. I was like, ref, you're looking at him. You see he's using a foreign weapon.
Oh, it's just
DQ him.
It's
Come
just
on.
water. It's just water.
Oh, but here was the one thing, and I don't know if many people caught on to it when Mecha Wolf was choking Yabo with his tie. Joey G
Started whipping him
may...
with.
Well, no. Like, when Mecha was choking him on the bottom rope.
Right.
Joey G, I swore he slipped a Justin Roberts reference into that. You remember that, don't you?
Yeah.
And I was like,
That kind of caught that caught my ear too. I was like, what? Wait a minute. What did he just say?
yeah, I giggled, but Mecha distracts the ref. Vampiro gets in, and then Violent J and Vampiro kind of get into it. Not gonna lie, I thought we were gonna have 2 matches in one, and I was so hoping Vampiro would get his hands on Violent J just to shut him up.
Back to their old WCW days.
Oh, I hate Insane Clown Posse.
Well, yeah, they have such a rabid fan base, though.
I know.
Like, I mean, the Juggalos, and then they have their own pay-per-view. I mean, these guys, you got to give it to them. They've been involved with wrestling for a long time. And no, I don't get it either. I just, they're very, very popular. If anything, I've heard somebody suggest on another podcast the other day that these guys should be inducted into the Celebrity Wing Hall of Fame in WWE. Just because if you think about it, they've been involved with wrestling for like over 20 years. So you had 2 legends out there representing the new talent, and yeah, they got into it. Vampiro, there's a guy I have never been a fan of. If I'm being totally honest, I've never you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand he's a legend. He's a legend in Mexico. I think when he kind of gained his popularity in the States in WCW, I think I was just like too far gone at that time. I was already, entrenched in the Attitude Era, I guess. But I do like him managing this tag team, and I like him. It feels like he's kind of giving the rub to the younger talent, and that I do like.
And I think the same goes with Violent J. He's given the Brothers of Funstruction a nice little rub to kind of steer them in the right path. But
he's a perfect manager, man.
I will give him that. Despite my hate for clowns and the Insane Clown Posse, Violent J has done very well with the Brothers of Funstruction. I need a drink after that. But anyway, after Yabo pulls out a balloon, blows it up, pops it in Mecha Wolf's face.
Another fun spot.
I need another drink.
I liked
for that.
it, man. I
But
loved it.
Yabo picks up the victory, and it's going to be determined what the stipulation is for Sawim.
That'll be very, very interesting to see what they end up picking for that. That pay-per-view, I'm really excited for, man. I honestly haven't been excited for a show like this in a little bit. And, it's fun. It's fresh. It's something new for me. Being an AEW and WWE fan, it's different, and I'm just psyched about it, man. And we're gonna cover it right after the show ends. We're gonna drop a podcast, and we have actually that's some news I want to share on the podcast. We've actually got somebody in Cleveland, Ohio, that is going to the show. It's going to call us that night and give us his report, what the crowd was like, the atmosphere, maybe some of his favorite match, who was the most over, all that good fun stuff. He's going to be on the podcast the night of the pay-per-view. So anybody listening to this podcast, you definitely want to tune in. That's going to be a very entertaining podcast.
And in between this match, they announced next week's matches, but we will go over that later. Anyway, Moving on to the first of many promos tonight, Camille.
Yeah, this was push the pay-per-view show.
Yeah, sure. I was like, oh my God, so many promos, but it's like, they have to.
Yeah, I thought I was watching an E-Fed show.
You're not wrong. But I mean, all in all, this show was done very well. It was promoting, it was hyping, and it did
Exactly what
its
I would do
job.
as a promoter.
And Camille talked about how EC3 compared her to a demon, and I've never really heard anybody use this polarity. She can be a demon when she wants, but she can also be that angel. And that I was like, ooh, I really like that. Although I did kind of pop when they had to censor Circle Jerk. That got me to giggle a little bit.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how she gets involved with this match coming up at the pay-per-view. I really feel like I'm picturing in my head right now, EC3 is getting speared by Camille at the pay-per-view. But yeah, she adds another element saying pretty much, look, I've took myself out of the women's division. I'm here for my man. I'm going to help him win the NWA championship, the 10 pounds of gold from EC3. That is my main focus, and that's what I'm here for. So, like I said, that adds to this match and it adds to this feud. Big fan of it.
Yeah, this is definitely, if this isn't the main event, I don't know what the hell is going to be. This match is probably the one I'm absolutely excited for the most.
Yeah, I'd say so. That in the tag team championship match, I'm interested.
Yeah. Let's see here. There we go. I had to find my notes for a second. I'm dumb. Promo number 2. EC3 is speaking about his tag team partner for next week, Jordan Clearwater. And Jordan Clearwater, number 1 in my book right now. Number 1 in my book. I mean, when EC3 was talking about how Jordan Clearwater is the future, he meant it. And then just out of nowhere, because you don't see Jordan the entire promo, and then he just pops in, just gives a weird, awkward thumbs up and a smile, and that I fucking lost.
Look, this is NWA's Orange Cassidy.
No, don't compare him to that.
Okay, well, I'm not a big Orange Cassidy fan, and I bet this guy can wrestle better than Orange Cassidy. But just the comedy of him popping in with the thumbs up, if that's not meme worthy. And of course we did make that into a meme, and he took it and shared it on the story.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of insane. I was like, it'll probably get a couple likes because we don't have that many people on social media yet. By the way, follow us on Twitter at Hour of Power Pod and on Instagram at the Hour of Power Pod. Links will be in the description. Cheap plug.
Yes. The plug as we grow our numbers. Of course, this is only episode 2, so we're looking for a fan base here. You know what I mean? Like we we're wanting to get more people into the NWA product. I know there's wrestling fans out there just like me and Knighten who are sick of AEW's nonsensical booking, WWE's predictable booking, and I still enjoy both of those. I watch both of those. There's no doubt about that. But NWA is something fresh, is something new, is something different. Like Billy Corgan said in an interview, it's not a retro product. It is, it's something new, and he's wanting to grow it. So, it's got a nice nostalgia feel. I get it with a studio audience and everything like that. But it's also got a nice, fresh, new feel to it. Just for me, just my opinion.
Plus, having the shows only be 45 minutes to an hour long, it keeps someone like myself who has the attention span of a gnat to be entertained, to keep focused, because I can't sit there for 3 hours. I
was absolutely shocked when the show ended this week. I was like, I'm sitting there just watching. I'm like, whoa, that's it?
Yeah, that was
the quickest wrestling show ever.
Yeah, that was kind of how I felt. I was like, damn, 45 minutes?
My God, imagine how great Raw would be if it was just like an hour.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
They got everything that they needed to do within that 45-minute time span. And it's like, that's how you do it. That is how you do it.
Yep, they plugged the pay-per-view. They got over the biggest talents that are in the main matches on the pay-per-view. Yeah, it was just I just wish every wrestling show was like that. Like as far as like time length, it's like, oh my god, man. But continue. I'm sorry.
But let's move on.
Yep.
We've got a lot to talk about here, man. Match
Yep.
number 2. Tom Latimer with Camille versus Koa Laxamana and his manager. I'm not even going to it. Shut up, Siri.
Well, they think you're talking to them.
Yeah. I'm gonna be real. Watching this match, Tom looked very uninterested in this match at all.
Definitely a squash match to get him over, to let the audience know, hey, this is the guy who's challenging for the world title. He is handling his business here in the ring. I don't think he took a single bump in this match. This was just a flat out ass whipping. And then you had Camille reminding the audience once again, you have Camille on the outside who could interfere at any time.
Mm-hmm. And there was that one moment that I thought Koa had Tom's number, and then it got shut down fairly quickly.
Yeah,
like when Koa gave
a
Tom
brief hope spot.
Yeah, like the frog splash. I was like,
Yep.
okay, maybe Koa can get himself going. And then Koa whipped Tom right into the corner and got him up on the top rope. Took forever to get into position. And Tom was just like, boom, super power bomb. I was like, oh, my back hurts from that.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, as soon as that super power bomb hit, I was like, well, that's all she wrote.
Yep, that was it. We're getting over this guy going for the World Heavyweight Championship. He's a beast.
Mm-hmm. On to promo number 3. Father James Mitchell with Max the Impaler and Judas.
Judas, the Southern Fried Champion, the Southern Honor Champion. This man is fire in the state of Georgia right now. He's got all the major championships. And eventually this guy is getting pushed to the moon. I'm telling you right now. I said it last week. You're going to see EC3. I mean, if EC3 can get by this next pay-per-view, but I see it, and I do think he will, honestly. But EC3 versus Judas, that's going to be the next money match.
Yeah, I would be yelling, "Shut up and take my money" at that match. That would be extremely well done. But Father James Mitchell announces that there will be a ultimate hardcore tag team war. And Sal the Pal Gags can find whomever they like. And likewise for the other team of Max the Impaler and Judas.
Oh, God. Speaking of Sal, I just saw a recent clip of Southern Honor Still Here 50. If you want to go look for that on that independent TV, God, I'm probably butchering it. But yeah, he gives this guy, Nathan Mallory, the Killbilly is his wrestling name. He curb stomps this guy's head into a pile of thumbtacks.
Oh, no.
Sal is a sick individual. Another huge name in the state of Georgia. So this guy can get pretty brutal himself. I do remember them tagging. I don't remember the name. I said last week I'd look it up. I did not look it up. I want to say Contra, possibly. No. That was an MLW, but they brought that to Southern Honor as well. With some of and Sal was in Contra. That is right. In Southern Honor, though, that is. But yeah, Sal's he's a crazy individual. And then his partner, dude, doesn't even talk. Dude is weird. He's definitely a comedy character and kind of out there. but I don't think they would have any problem stomping these guys.
Well, it's a matter if they can find the right team.
Yeah,
Because Father James Mitchell knows a lot of sick and twisted individuals.
yes, he does.
And the
He's a sick
stipulations.
and twisted individual himself.
Oh, God, yeah. And I think that's why a lot of people love Father James Mitchell.
Oh, he would take that as a compliment if he
Oh,
heard
yeah,
that.
100% would. But this match, the Ultimate Hardcore Tag Team War, comes with some very, very interesting stipulations. If Sal and Gags lose, they will be servants of Father James for the rest of their miserable lives. And Sam posed the question, what happens if Gags and Sal wins? And I swore I thought she was going to get assaulted by Max.
Yeah.
100%. And Father James was like, if all the stars align, if all the planets align and everything goes right, I will bow before them on my hands and knees, and they will be set free. But Father James seemed extremely confident that
Father
won't
James
happen.
is about to have a huge stable
Oh,
in
God.
WF. I'm telling you right now, that's my prediction.
I 100% am behind that one because, like I stated, Father James knows a lot of sick and twisted individuals, and I don't think he's afraid to give them a call at all.
Oh man, I've got a few people in mind if they debut somebody new. Oh, but yeah, I mean that also gets me excited for the pay-per-view though. Like I said, they've really pushed the pay-per-view hard on this show.
Yeah, they did. And with this announcement, that will definitely be a very, very interesting match. And I think that's another one that a lot of people should pay attention to. Just
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I'm looking forward to it. That's another one I'm looking forward to.
And on to promo number 4. Ruthie J talks about Kenzie Page. Ruthie J had some nice things to say, but was not worried about Pretty and Empowered, and I think that might be Ruthie J's downfall, honestly.
Ruthie J came off as such a heel in this promo. I was confused for a little bit. I was like, well, I know she's supposed to be the face because Kenzie Page is definitely not a face.
Oh, God, no.
So, yeah, I was like, man, she might make a better heel than really a face, judging by her promo. But, yeah, it'll be interesting. I feel like what they're doing is the gimmick is much like they did with Camille and they've done in the past with former NWA world champions. I think that they're trying to just bring in, talent from everywhere to challenge for this world title, to establish this world champion, Kenzie Page. So, and of course, with him opening the territories up, we talked about it last week. I believe he's doing that so he can have, and you've already seen it really, so he can have his champions go to these different independent territories and defend their title belts against some homegrown talent. I do feel like that's where they're going with that. It's nothing official or anything like that, but it feels that way, and that kind of merits the decision to have so many titles in NWA. I do criticize every wrestling company for having way too many title belts to the point where it does not feel special. But with NWA, the fact that you could open up so many different territories throughout the United States, maybe the world possibly, it gives merit to have all these title belts that they have.
Yes. And that, I think, in the long run, that's going to help them. And not only will it help the NWA, but it's going to help the territories as a whole, because it's going to put some of these territories or independent companies that you might have not heard of, and it's going to put them on the map, and it's going to turn other people on to newer talent, which then could bring them an opportunity to go to the NWA, go to other companies, be able to travel around the world, be able to travel around the United States to other companies, be like, hey, I was on TV. I want to help out. I want to be here.
Right. And they can own their craft in those territories.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee attendance numbers rise. I guarantee if they have any kind of TV presence, maybe even on YouTube or wherever, Twitch, I guarantee those numbers go up whenever, people find out that NWA has attached its name to it. But yeah, it's good all around. I love it. I love the decision to do it.
Mm-hmm. And like I stated, Ruthie J, I think, needs to be careful with Pretty Empowered. Calling them hyenas, that you're going to enter a world of hurt by doing that. And I think it's going to cost her in the long run.
She doesn't really have anybody backing her.
No, that's the problem.
This huge state. You've got the stable. And yeah, it's not. I agree with you. Not looking good for her.
So let's see what she can do at Sawwin.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I got to go with Kenzie Page on this one.
Yeah.
I know we're not doing a prediction show, but I might as well drop
that's for next week.
Yeah.
But next up, promo number 5. Sal the Pal and Gags. Honestly, for a second there, I thought Sal was stoned. Because he's just staring off into space. He's just like...
that's the character.
And then he just snaps in, and it's like, whoa, hey.
They need to bring in Sunny Days. That was his tag partner in Southern Fried and Southern Honor.
Hey, maybe that could be who he brings in for the Ultimate Hardcore.
Yes, this guy is like, he's also nuts. Paints his face all freaking yellow and black, and I don't know. He's crazy. You've seen him in the Casino Battle Royal for AEW. I think that's probably like his biggest television appearance. But yeah, that would be really, really cool if they brought him in.
Yeah. And Sal talked about the freedom he and Gags have from Father James Mitchell. And apparently he declined Father James's offer to join. And Sal goes, I found a new lease on life. I started doing yoga, a vegan diet,
yes,
and then a new supplement. I go, that's it. He's high. I know it. Don't lie to me.
He's enlightened. I love Sal. He's great.
It was a goofy
and then he's got his
promo,
little buddy over there next to him, just like shaking his head like, yeah.
And he's just like doing all these hand gestures. Then towards the end, he unzips his mask. Is like, oh, he's going to say something. Then just sticks his tongue out and walks away. I was like, you got me, you son of a bitch. You got me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but I thought it was great. These guys are just like, that's the thing is like, you have these serious characters, and then you have, and I'm sure these characters can get serious as well, but there's a comedy, presence with Sal and Gags that I don't know. It's just, and they've got good chemistry together as well.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. And it'll be interesting to see the pay-per-view and see this Ultimate Hardcore tag team war. Wow, that's a lot to say after a while. After you've said it like 6 times, you're like, ugh. I'm just going to call it a tag team war and call it good enough for government work.
Yeah.
But I think right here is a good place to take a break and whatnot. So we will catch you in the next segment.
Wrestling fans, be a part of a one-of-a-kind NWA Powerr studio audience experience and join us Saturday, November 4th as the NWA returns live to Nashville, Tennessee's own Skyway Studios. Tickets on sale now at NWATix.com. That's NWATIX.com.
And we are back, and we are going to move on to match number 3. Max the Impaler with Father Mitchell versus MJ Jenkins for the NWA Women's Television Championship. This was like the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Because Max did go to about 4 minutes of this match. I mean, MJ had a lot of headlock changes. She tried to do hip toss, nothing was working, or arm drag, nothing was working. And just anytime MJ tried to get offense, Max was like, nope, bonk.
Yeah, Max Impaler, she is a great addition to Father James' stable. She is unique, different. I love the character. It's a little old school in a way. Just something I know, like you're thinking, like, well, I can't think of any female that's ever done a gimmick like this. But the over exaggeration of the character, um, I really dig. And yeah, she should be booked as a monster, as she has been booked like a monster. I enjoyed it. It is what it is. The match, it was, a lot of Max. But I mean, they're booking this girl strong. They're booking her to, I don't know, possibly be a contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Because I like how old school. I hate to use that word because I know the owner hates it, but I do like the fact that they're going back to when back in the day, if you were a television champion or a United States champion or even an Intercontinental champion at some point, you were considered the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. When I would flip through the magazines of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, that's always how they did the rankings in the back of the magazine, man. And the way they're doing it now, I feel like they're kind of doing it in that way. They book their mid card title, if you want to call it that, very very strong, to the point where it doesn't really feel very mid card. And I think that's an awesome booking philosophy. I mean, to me, as soon as you call something mid, that's exactly what it is. Think about it. But the way they book the way they book her as the women's television champion, you wouldn't know. You would think she was the women's world champion.
Well, and here's even the other thing. It goes for almost any title within the NWA.
Right.
It can be the main event of a show. Doesn't matter whether it's the United States tag title, world
I
tag
love that.
title, women's TV, television. It doesn't matter what title it is. They make it feel special. They make it feel important. And honestly, that is what you should do.
Right. In AEW, I feel like there's so much title flipping. It's just, I don't know. It makes the titles feel less. It's like, oh, there was a title change on Dynamite tonight. Oh, really? Isn't that like every Dynamite? You have you have two 3-man tag belts. Count the ROH trios, or no, what is it? ROH 6-man, and then you have the AEW trios. Way too many titles. They don't mean anything. But like you said, and going back to the territory deal, is that, yeah, you could go to these territories and defend these titles and they could be the main event. They've already did it in Southern Honor in Canton, Georgia. They had Kenzie Page against Danny Jordan for the women's NWA Women's Championship. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Max and her clubbing forearms. God, I would have hated to be in MJ's position. They look like hell. They look like they hurt like hell. And then the lariat when MJ went up for high risk. Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
And Max walked away the winner, and that was all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. Yeah.
But on to the Thrillbilly Silas Mason talking about the main event between Zion and Chris Adonis. And that match determined who was the number one contender for the National Heavyweight Championship. And when Thrillbilly said, you're going to need to talk to Austin Idol from Beyond the Grave, not going to lie, I giggled way too much at that. I had to pause it. And I was like, it's stupid, but it's funny.
Yeah, I love their stable. They've got a good chemistry together as well. They're all kind of got that Southern kind of thing vibe going. Um, I've told you, Alex Taylor, he started in a independent wrestling organization known as AWF, American Wrestling Federation. It is about 5 minutes from my house. So I have seen Alex Taylor from the beginning, and he's an excellent talent. Kerry Morton looks better and better every time I see him. Very aggressive for his size. And the Thrillbilly is excellent. He's an excellent promo. But yeah, continuing on to the match. Go ahead.
That's later on.
Yeah.
But I mean, Thrillbilly was a man of very few words and got his point across. Like when he turned to Adonis, he's just like, yeah, you're nothing really special. And then mentioned how the Southern Six are the only faction that really matter, and they run the NWA. And I'm just like, there's so many factions. No one true faction really runs the NWA. But
no,
that is, it's going to
James
be proven with
Mitchell.
time.
Yeah.
And
God,
then,
there is a ton, isn't there?
yeah, there is.
You have the clowns. You have Vampiro and his boys. You got, my God, there's James Mitchell and his stable. I mean, Jesus, there's a ton of them.
Yeah, there's too many. It's just like, and there's nothing wrong with that. The more stables, the better.
Getting over the younger talent when you pair them up with a Vampiro or Violent J or James Mitchell, all it's doing is giving them the rub. And then just with Ricky Morton being attached to the Southern Gentleman, I mean that also helps. Thrillbilly is like I said, excellent on the mic. Great crap talk, just great shit talker.
And Kerry Morton not knowing when the pay-per-view was, he's like, yeah, pay-per-view's on October 28th or whatever it may be. I was like, come on, dude. Really? And then guess what? You know who got mentioned in this promo? Jordan Clearwater. He was off doing something, and they're like, yeah, even Jordan Clearwater recognizes us as the best.
He gives the thumbs up for everything. Yeah, even our podcast.
He gives the thumbs up. So it's all that matters. And then Alex Taylor, the one that I was like, all right, you're a jackass. Turning down the chance to tour the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, dude, oh, that's an opportunity.
He's a liar. No.
But the one that really got me was the ending of the promo. It just kind of felt a little off to me, but who the hell am I to say anything?
All right.
But this got added. I saw this on social media today. The Southern Six and Alex Taylor will be in action at Sawim. And originally it was an open invitation. They will be facing against the Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher at Sawim.
Oh, nice.
I saw that. I was like, oh, that's going to be cool.
I can't wait to get this show.
Yeah, they're stacking this, and the more and more as the days roll on, the more and more I am getting absolutely.
Well, they've got them. They're making it appealing to their new partner, which we'll talk about towards the end of this podcast.
Well, and not even that, but to new fans in general, they're making it appealing. They're going, hey, we've got a mix of the old, we've got a mix of the new, and we're here to put on a hell of a show. And I have not been excited for a pay-per-view in a long fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
This is going to be one that is going to be top tier in my book.
Yeah, and it's something different and new, man. That's what I'm excited about. Just something fresh.
But
it's got a very Halloween Havoc type vibe, and I'm not talking about the NXT Halloween Havoc, like old school NWA WCW Halloween Havoc. You know what I'm saying? Like just the theme of it and everything, with James Mitchell doing the voiceover, which you heard in our during our break. But yeah, I'm excited.
And On to promo number 7. We are almost done. I think this is actually the last promo of the night. I was so happy. I was like, thank you. But pretty empowered all together. Started off talking about the NWA Women's World Tag Team Championship match at Sawim when Kylie and Ella take on Natalia and Taylor. This, I'm going to have to hand it to Pretty Empowered, though. The promo, short, sweet, to the point. They got their point across, and just them insulting the fans. These 3 women know how to get heat. They can piss the crowd off just by standing there.
Yeah, the very spoiled brat kind of vibe to them.
Yeah, because I mean, like, they didn't even say anything. You just hear the crowd boo, boo. And
well, they've just got those faces, you know what I'm saying? Like the face of like the facial expressions that they make when they first come out before they even speak. It's like they've just smelled it the worst fart ever. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait, it's the wrestling fans and their BO. That's what they're thinking. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking sometimes when I go to wrestling shows.
I don't know.
Maybe I got more in common with them than I know. Anyway. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I go to an independent show where I just end up standing most of the show. I'm just like, I'm cool.
I don't know. Majority of the shows that I've gone to, I've been off like near the backstage area.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, with Taylor, how's Taylor doing with his this thing?
He's doing well, actually. I talked to him not too long ago. He's not going to be running any shows till mid-March, and he's got 2 in the works. He sent me actually the pictures for them, and he's definitely got some interesting concepts.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember sponsoring his first show.
Here, let me pull it up.
I think it was his first show.
He's got Chase for the Case, which would be like a Money in the Bank type situation. Right. And here's the one that got me interested. DLC.
What is that?
Doors, Lego, and chairs.
He's always had a very creative mind.
Oh my God. As soon as I saw Legos, all I could think of was being younger and you're making Lego sets and you fucking step on one in the middle of the night and that pain.
I've done that. Unforgiving. Unfucking forgiving. Or we'll talk about our independent talk on our independent podcast we have coming out, and probably next month is when I'm going to be able to get around to it. But yeah, we're wanting to focus on different indies across the states. But go ahead, continue on.
And then they transitioned over to Kenzie Page, and they were talking about her women's world title shot again, or title match against Ruthie J. Excuse me.
Good.
And she was also very short and sweet and to the point. She's just like, I'm going to eat you up, and there ain't a damn thing you're going to be able to do about it. I'm going to move on to the next competitor after you.
Yeah, my money's on Kenzie Page. There's no doubt.
Yes. But we move on to our main event of the evening. Zion versus Chris Adonis. And the winner will be the number 1 contender for the National Heavyweight Championship at Sawim.
#Sexy Jesus.
And this match was just entirely a back and forth battle. You didn't know who was going to win. Sometimes you, right off the bat, you're like, okay, I know who's going to win. I want to see if I'm right. This match, there was no clear cut. This is who's going to win and who's going to lose. Because they were like 2 bulls going at it in the China shop.
Yeah, Chris Adonis has really owned his craft a lot better from back, in the day when he was on, WWE as Chris Masters. He was kind of more of a meathead, a power wrestler. just a big, jacked up dude. He's trimmed down. He moves a lot quicker. He's a lot more confident on the mic, I feel like. I feel like WWE kind of missed the ball on him years ago when they had a chance to bring him in. He had actually rescued, I believe, his mother from a house fire. Incredible story. Local news outlets picked up on it. This guy has really gotten better so much over the years. But great back and forth match. I felt like Chris Adonis is the guy to give that push to face Thrill Billy. I feel like that's going to be a good chemistry between Sexy Jesus and the Thrill Billy, and having to fend off the Southern Gentleman. I think that makes for a better pay-per-view match, but Ion really worked his ass off here. Great back and forth match.
Yeah, and when Adonis got Zion into the master lock relatively quick, I think it was like within a minute or so, Zion gets to the rope, and then Adonis fails on attempt number 2, can't get his fingers interlocked, and number
Love
3
it when they tease the finisher at the beginning.
I know, because you're like, oh, damn, oh. It's like, listen, if you're gonna tickle the taint, at least let me get there. Come on, don't tease me like that. But and then after a little bit, Adonis gets put in the Z clutch, and I was like, oh, this is all she wrote. And then Adonis gets the ropes. Zion doesn't let go, and Zion thinks after the ref has counted to 5 and starts to ring the bell, Zion walks away. He's got his hands up. He's like, I win. Yeah. And then they go, you're winner by DQ, Chris Adonis. And Zion's like, what?
Interesting finish. Very interesting finish to this match. Yeah. I think that what they were trying to do was still book both competitors strong. And this is a way out in a way. Like, okay, we're still going to try to, make both competitors look strong.
Yeah,
but
because
this is the guy. Go ahead.
Because I was about to say, Zion has never officially taken a loss. He's taken technicality losses,
right?
But he's never been 1, 2, 3 pinned.
When they mentioned that in commentary, I'm like, this guy ain't getting pinned or submitting. The illegitimate son of
Austin Idol.
Yes.
Supposedly.
Take the mask off. Somebody take the mask off. Maybe they'll take the mask off the pay-per-view. Somebody will get him. And so let's see what this guy looks like.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe it might happen. Maybe we'll never know. That's the mystery of Zion.
Yes. I like it.
As we stated earlier in the show today, next week's matches, we will see EC3 and Jordan Clearwater in tag team action. I will finally, for the first time in a while, get to see Murdoch and Knox in action versus the Fixers.
Yeah, they have not been on TV the last 2 episodes, and this is it's a pretty big major tag team match coming up. But they really did push it very heavily. Was it 3 weeks ago, right before we started the podcast? And that is a matchup I am very much looking forward to.
And then we also have the other half of the World Tag Team match at Sawwim, Blunt Force Trauma with Aaron Stevens in action. This is definitely going to be interesting.
Yes.
And then we have
Is Aaron Stevens just not a fucking national treasure?
Dude, he anytime he's in the ring, it's gold.
And I love the manager role that he's playing for the Blunt Force Trauma. But, man, when he gets involved in those matches, I'm like, please come back. Come out of retirement. He would play such a great chicken shit heel, man.
I am 100% in agreement with this.
NWA television title on him. This guy,
I know.
Maybe they missed the boat. Maybe he should have beat Nick Aldis whenever they were.
When I was watching NWA a few years ago, when he was an active competitor, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so great! I love this." And then he retires, and it's like, I miss you on the ring.
And I'm probably one of those rare fans. A lot of fans like his work with Miz, where he played the stunt double, which was great. Do not get me wrong, great stuff. But I just really love the Damian Sandow character he played before that. The Money in the Bank winner, they dropped the ball on that. I just love his whole gimmick, man. It was like a more updated genius character, a better worker than the genius, a better talker than the genius. He did it better than the genius. But yeah, just always been a big fan of his.
And when he went to the NWA, he really had the opportunity to shine. And it's like, this is what I've been yearning for so long.
It's good when, a wrestler leaves, WWE or AEW, and you feel like they just kind of got lost in the shuffle, or they just weren't booked good, or politics, or whatever the case may be. And then they go somewhere to get a fresh start, like a NWA or maybe a MLW or wherever. And it's, like a Zack Ryder. Talk about a guy who really reinvented himself.
I've never really liked Matt Cardona, but what he's done for himself over the last, 3 years since he got released, his stock has just gone through the roof.
With him being such a baby face in WWE, he really did kind of reinvent himself as a heel, and just, going to all these different independent wrestling organizations and collecting their titles. Remember, he had put something out, like a tweet a while back, and it's like, quit having me win your belts. He didn't have room for him, to carry around with him. He had so many, but he's really, he's reinvented himself, and proud of that guy. In the WWE, he was just always presented as such a fucking goof. And here, in the independents and NWA or wherever he's been, Impact, he's still Matt Cardona. He's still the Zack Ryder character in a way, but he's an obnoxious douchebag. I mean, but it works. It draws a ton of heat.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean to go off into the woods.
No, dude, you ain't got to apologize for a damn thing. Oh, come on. My computer went to sleep.
So I was providing good filler.
No, like literally as soon as you ended it, did that. And the last match that they announced, I want to say 6-man so bad, but they call it a 3v3 tag match.
Yeah.
With Pretty Empowered versus Samantha Starr, Ruthie J, and the Woad.
That'll be entertaining.
We might get to see a little preview of Sawin with Ruthie J.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be pushing the pay-per-view even more. And I suspect I know actually we're going to see something with Murdoch and Knox with Blunt Force Trauma, Aaron Stevens. We're getting them next week, no doubt.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Hiccups. If you want to talk about a train wreck at the end of the freaking podcast, let's talk about it right now.
Well, we've got bigger stuff to talk about with the NWA news and the Billy Corgan interview. You've got notes on that if you want to start that out.
Yeah, so last week, Billy Corgan announced that he had signed a TV deal with a top 20 network. And we finally have the network, the CW network.
Yeah, just days later, he announces this. He says it's a top 20. It was running through my head. What is considered a top 20 network? It's not going to be B Sports and all this other stuff that you've seen MLW on, and Impact as well. I've seen them on some pretty obscure stuff. So I'm thinking in my head, it's not, obviously it's not TBS, TNT, USA. It's none of the local, it's not ABC, CBS, NBC. What could this be? And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a pretty big network. And then I instantly thought of, wow, I think that they're on CW.
I think
The
they were
all
at one point.
yes, but they had drawn pretty good ratings, and I'm thinking like, okay, well this makes sense now. And CW and the marriage of NWA, I'm really looking forward to. I'm like, it's crazy. We start this podcast, and all of a sudden they got a TV deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is gonna make watching it more enjoyable. I'm really excited, especially if they're gonna have, good money backing them as far as upping the production, um, even more than it is now. I'm hoping they still stay in the studio audience, but we'll see about that. If they have the chance to make more money, to go on tour, that's an option you want to explore as well. But yes, marriage to the CW. CW is a big network. They have a lot of shows that have huge fan bases. You look at the history of CW. You got stuff like The Flash. You have One Tree Hill. You have Vampire Diaries,
Supernatural.
Supernatural. A lot of shows that I don't really like, but if you're bringing NWA to CW, I'm on board with that.
All I'm saying is it has to be at 6:05. There can be no other time.
Oh my God! Yeah.
If they try to be like, yeah, and you get to watch NWA Powerr on Wednesdays at 7:30. No.
Or just even if they say 6, it's like, oh, don't you dare.
Yeah, be like, it has to be 6:05. Don't fuck with. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. But
And
go ahead.
and it's not only going to be NWA Powerr. Apparently, there's 2 shows that they're going to be doing.
Right. Yeah. And one of the shows I'm hearing, the rumor is, this is not, I don't think this is confirmed, or I haven't seen it confirmed, but one of the shows will be on Saturdays, and possibly later that night on a Saturday. So to kind of give it a big match feel, and if people are groaning, it's like, hey, look, you stay up for these UFC fights that are like don't end till like 2 a.m. Boxing the same way. Hell, Collision is pretty late, I would say, or some weeks it is if it's not the playoffs or football or whatever is not on. But I'm excited, and I like wrestling on Saturdays. I grew up with wrestling on Saturdays, Saturday morning, Saturday night. Look forward to it every freaking weekend. Me and my stepbrother were watching WCW Saturday night every single weekend, man. And then in the morning, Superstars. Loved it. All American Wrestling on Sunday mornings. The weekends, they should be for wrestling, dude. And Saturday is a great day. I know that everybody's like, well, everybody's out there doing stuff on Saturday. I'm like, yeah, but that evening, they're ready to settle in. They're ready to chill out, and they're ready to eat some dinner and watch a show, watch a live event, a live sporting event. And I love the fact that if they do bring it on Saturdays, I would love for them to bring it on Saturdays.
Well, number one, you're definitely showing your age by stating, yeah,
Yes.
I remember watching.
Oh, fuck. I forget you're like really a lot younger than me.
25. Fuck.
Oh, God.
Off.
You're fucking way younger than me.
Listen, I remember watching SmackDown in like 2001, and not gonna lie, I got banned from watching wrestling for like a good 4-year grace period.
Did your parents walk in on Katie Vick? The Katie Vick?
No. So what I did, how Triple H would take a swig of water and then spit it off from the apron?
Yes.
I did that, but instead of water, it was on with Kool-Aid. Instead of on a ring apron, it was on the back of a couch towards my dad's collectible shelf.
Oh, you fucked up.
It was 4. Leave me be.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, you got to excuse that.
A-
That's very young. I mean,
and then what was it? They they let me have that grace period like in 2003 or no 2003 2004, and like I would running body slam my cat. I mean, I would always do it on like a bed, and I did that, and they're like, no,
yeah,
no more.
terrible.
So from
You
like
should have had a brother to beat up like me.
well,
And then my stepbrother beat me up, and then I beat up my half brother.
well, I
That's how
never
it's
had that opportunity because my parents said, no, one's too much of an asshole. We're not having another. And they
touche.
they still say that 25 years later. You know, you're a real asshole. Yeah, I'm aware. Thank you. Look at where I get it
You
from.
bow. I could see you bowing.
Probably. I've probably done it a time or two.
I
They're
do
like,
my best.
be
I
like,
do my best.
thank you very much.
Well, we got to wrap this thing up. Is there? You were wanting to talk about the Billy Corgan interview real quick.
Yeah. So Billy had mentioned that he really doesn't like a lot of the modern wrestling that is out there. And then Dave Meltzer chimed in and was like, "Oh, Billy doesn't like this, Billy doesn't like that." And the NWA
Yeah, that's not
actually
talks. That's not, well, here's the thing is, and here, and have you ever listened to his podcast?
no, because
Oh my God.
there aren't too many things that I agree with certain people, but
Mhm.
I agree with Bruce Pritchard that Dave Meltzer is full of himself. And so here's the comments that Billy had stated, and I
Mhm.
quote, Dave Meltzer has most certainly built his brand off the efforts of others. But unlike the great wrestlers he's mentioned, all of whom I respect and haven't said a single disparaging word against, although he implies I have, Dave positions himself as the expert on what is and isn't worthy of a fan's attention and opposed to those who actually wrestle or, for example, perhaps run a professional wrestling company 365 days a year. The NWA has a pay-per-view coming up on October 28th. Saw a whim. That's what matters. Fans arguing over the worthy and unworthy champions. That's what matters and is the lifeblood of the business. Restoring the legacy and drawing ability of a company that's 75 years old, well, that matters a lot. Yet I must bow to the opinion of one. No, thank you. Sir, wrestling fans all over the world deserve better than that. And I 100% agree with that
Wow. Yeah. He
because a
pretty much
lot
nailed that.
of the internet wrestling community takes his word as gospel.
I just feel like it's like the really diehards. And here I am. I'm a pretty diehard wrestling fan. I've never subscribed to Meltzer's newsletter because, I started to grow up when I started to get a little older, the internet was on the rise and I was able to just look up any of this information. It was out there, easy to find. So I felt no need to pay for the newsletter. Um, I do love the fact that we do have journalism in wrestling, and it is his opinion. And you have the diehards that agree with him. But I just hate it when he tries to present it as factual. And he'll say, "Well, it's just my opinion. I'm not." I'm like, well, you know, if most people when they read your stuff, it looks like you're trying to present it as factual, and that is my problem with them. And I totally agree with just about everything Billy Corgan says in that quote.
And like the other thing, I saw when the NWA posted that quote from Billy, the fans were absolutely ripping. And that's the problem. The internet wrestling community is not the majority, I should say, are toxic because they were. And the one thing that they kept hitting on and kept harping about was the fact that Tyrus is a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh my God.
It's like,
Like,
so
fuck up.
what that the guy had difference of opinions than you do. The guy drew, the guy did what he needed to do. Fuck off. He did his job
And that's
and he
my
did it
opinion
damn
either.
well.
Not be my cup of tea, but you know what? This guy is a threat. He's been in the business for a long time. I mean, he just looks like a threat. He's a monster. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're just gonna keep going back to that, then like I don't know. You're not really a fan.
Mhm.
You're a fan of bitching about shit.
And I think that's what it majorly was. They just wanted to bitch. And it's like, congrats, you just made yourself look like a fool.
They like the shit where the people just club each other back and forth. They're like, they hit each other as hard as they can. The other person goes, "Oh, do it again." I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent a little bit right now, but yeah, some of that Japanese stuff I think is a little bit overrated.
I kind of agree. But anyway, after that little tirade, I think
Yeah.
we should wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so. And Justin was not on the podcast. We forgot to mention the German bastard. He was probably asleep. It was go time, and he was not around. And I don't blame him because it's
Here,
like
I will
4 or 5
actually quote. He goes, I haven't watched Powerrr yet. I'm too busy doing things. Also, I'm tired as hell. Not
Aw,
good
aw.
enough, Justin. Quit being a slacker. It's
Yeah, I
45
you
minutes.
got to watch it in a different country. So,
I don't
but
give a damn.
yeah, who gives a damn? Exactly. No excuses, Justin. Now, Justin is going on a little trip, and will be going to see the WWE on tour. So we will not have him for 2 weeks. We have Logan Frazier, who will be coming on the podcast. As far as stuff to look forward to, we'll have a bonus podcast that'll be released the night of the pay-per-view, after the pay-per-view, going over the results and talking to our correspondent, I guess you could say, Blake English, who will be live at the show to tell us everything that went down. That'll be an extra bonus podcast coming up after the pay-per-view. Just letting you know some of the stuff coming up that we have going on. You know, like I said, Logan Frazier will be filling in for the next 2 weeks. We have the bonus podcast, and it appears that I will be going to the November the 4th show in Nashville for the NWA Powerr tapings. And I am bringing a crew, it looks like.
Yeah,
All
I
I did was,
saw that. I kind of feel sorry for you.
yeah. I'm scared now. So all I did was drop the information in the chat, and I was like, anybody wants to go? You know, here's how much the tickets are. Just send me the money. Bling, bling, bling. I'm like, oh shit. I've got to go with Mikey, Brody, and Logan Frazier. Dear God, help me. We are going to document this on a podcast on the way to the show, and then after the show.
I'll
But we're
send
not
you
going
a
to give away
drink.
spoilers. We are not going to give away spoilers.
That's mighty nice of you.
Even though you can look them up online, we're not doing it. We're
Yeah,
not.
I don't do that.
We will. I mean, I won't consider it spoilers. The pay-per-view is live. We want anybody listening to this, buy the pay-per-view. Buy the pay-per-view. Support NWA. We need more wrestling. I know you're saying, well, that's oversaturated. Well, we need something fresh because AEW and WWE aren't cutting it for certain wrestling fans, old school fans like myself, and I know Knighten's young, but he's an old school wrestling fan at heart. So we need something. Even Justin, think of the German bastard. Even though he didn't think of us tonight, think of the German bastard. And I guess that's about it. That's all I've got to say, Knighten.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Hour of Powerr. Want to thank you guys for tuning in, and please listen to us next week. Until then, arrivederci.
Boom.